One, two, one, two.
De-escalate officer control encounter.
So sorry. It's so loud in here, and I think that people really need to hear this. So can we please be quiet just a little bit and have some respect? Pretty please. Thank you.
That's my bodyguard, Edward Jones. I use Edward Jones.
What are we doing?
Override.
Oh, look at that! He's so cute! Gracias! Dude, this is amazing!
It's pretty cool.
Igual!
I'm a whirling dervish, I always twirl on purpose. I'm so surface level, don't you look behind the curtains. I'm nervous like I'm Nelly. Kelly's so evil, he not a person. What would a good one consist of? I'm probably not as perfect. It's probably not in my bloodline. My faith lies as far as my fathers allow, but truth I control where I land. I choose to be an island. I choose to pick up my plans till they all seem folly, but I guess I'll change that present to the past tense. Like Paps was a bastard, flabbergasted. Pap has a running pattern, polish splattered, nothing matters. Turns out love an ugly dancer, I am. Generation violence, part of the nation, not hiding from it all till it all become blinding. Fly across the sky till the blue turn violent, mock the passage of the days all ever I'm in. Don't feel free to chime in, rather keep you tuned out. Stick with flat drink sip instead of fizzled out routes. I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work. I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work. This might be a bowl of self-belief. No need for boating schools to tell me peace is found. I find my own ground, crashing my own reef. No beef, all peace. Nah, that bang bang, ski ski. You show the counts down. Clown caught up in his own heat. It's a lesson where you learn to shut the demons out. Nah, I'm kidding. You ain't no demon. You my homie, but I'm tweaking, bro. When you mix this and think you got business talking about my track, shut up, bitch. Sorry. I guess I went too far with that one. Guess it's easy to blame the homie for my shortcomings. Should have working for different outcomes. It's all love, but it need to be self-love. Need to do this for me, not for anyone else,
No,
but
but when he
not for your approval or the words of the rest of, but to feel peace when I walk in the rest.
Nice, go forward.
It should be mine. Now I know it's mine alone. I don't need to go your way. You can't make that face. Life is made of serious work. I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that
Other hand. That one. That hand. Hey, come here.
What about?
I wanna I need to tell you, I wanna bang you. Okay.
Unless you talking numbers, we ain't speaking about the right things. Switch up on my nigga for a figure, that's not like me. Baddie with a body in the lobby, she like nice things. She used to know me then, she like me now, that's funny timing. Eyes been on that prize, I cop that cribbo for that timepiece. I'm trying to see the globe and sell out shows until the flight leave. They wanna ride my ties, but they ain't even ride or die, please. But I've been short on time, been in the prime of my prime years. I said I never changed and leveled up, I guess I lied, yeah. Off that straight up potent, just to feel like I'm alive, yeah. Mix that with that potion, just to feel like I'm that guy, yeah. I know the one you talking to, he went outside the line, yeah. Go against the tribe, you lose your... Let me not even say this shit. I just ran out of my questions. I just got tired of waiting and got here myself. Niggas want me to believe in the dream that they see for themselves and still doubt in themselves. They might as well light up the L. High top on 10 toe, drip retro. Talking major plays, hella high tech through the getro. Pin game, then petrol. Just set it in the flesh hole. Send a text mail to give a wet clothes. On a vapor wave to make a drip drip with the left lobe in the left stroke. Flex up. I'ma make plays, I'ma go long. Never look back so long. Yeah. Flex up. Shawty on 10, finna go up. Bring that.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nonito Donaire.
Could this be tonight?
Oh, I did it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Good Monday morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy
everyone.
Monday. Yeah, that's right. You know, we had a great fight last weekend, but big shout out to everybody who's out here, and of course to my man John Boy. I hope everything is good, brother. Man, that's crazy. That's a crazy story you just got and told everybody out here, man. So
Yeah, so let's color up the chats. And since he wants us to dance so early in the morning, what a great way to, to start the live on a Monday. But let's go. Wait, I need to do this. And then I need to do this.
yeah,
Then I need to do that. Ready?
Yeah. Hey. I'm kind of off right now, but I got a couple of them, so
Yeah.
but yeah, man, just cause I love you guys, thank you, John Boy. And again, man, that's a crazy story, man, and I hope you feel better, bro. I know it hurts, just fresh, you know what I mean? So
Here's another
one and another one. Hey. Much love, much. Yep. Man, I got into a major accident. I hit a wall going 90.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Man, that's wow.
Here's another one.
Wow, that's just crazy. Hey.
See, I feel really
All right,
bad dancing to this.
I know we're dancing because
it's a bad pitch. Like I don't know how to, like.
Yeah, no, but go ahead. Put that one on.
Put
that on first.
Is it not on?
No.
Oh, my bad. I was denied medical attention and they try to drag me to jail, but I keep fainting.
Man, that's crazy.
It is. It's
I gotta dance, but then I feel bad.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
weird. Like I literally feel.
No, but much love to you, bro, man. That's crazy.
Well,
but
we'll
let's do
talk to
this.
him as soon as we're done with all his.
Yeah,
chats.
for sure.
This is a shout out to Orlando.
John Boy again, my bro Orlando.
And you know what the thing is that T Orlando probably can give him a great advice. So I hope they do hook up after the show and talk about it,
Yeah.
Man, John, I feel bad about these.
I know, but I gotta dance. And with a smile on my face too, my bad, bro. But I mean, man, when they booked me in jail, the medic there told the supervisor that I desperately need medical attention, and they denied me. That is incredible. Like you said, I think that they that's a lawsuit, right?
That has to be a lawsuit.
Because I mean, like he was saying, he was concussed. He didn't, and they were doing the sobriety test and all of that stuff. I mean, that's crazy to me. Knowing that you have broken bones and stuff like that, and concussion, and they're denying you all of this stuff, man. So, man, I hope you feel better, bro. I mean, that's just crazy to me.
I agree.
That's
agree. And
crazy
we got
to
a
me.
super chat from Upper Echelon. There we go.
Yeah. Hey. Where are my wrenches?
Okay, I gave you a wrench.
All right.
Listen, we stopped here. Let me stop making it ring. So if y'all don't know, we were on YouTube. First of all, we were probably one of the first. You were the first boxer on YouTube a long time ago.
A long
We're
time
talking
ago,
about,
yeah,
like,
back in 2010. Yeah.
And we used to do, little reality shows and stuff like that leading up to the fight. And then we came back and we did. We got into Philippine YouTube. And I gave wrenches out, but then people were arguing who got wrenches, and so I wiped all the wrenches out. So now, we're being, we watched you guys here for quite some time. We've also watched you on other channels, so we know your tendency isn't to bully other people,
Right.
And so when I give the wrenches, it really is because I know you guys are stand-up people, not trying to control. If you guys are fighting in the chats, like, let the fight happen. Not let the fight, have a good discussion.
Yeah.
Don't spam the chat. And realize that there's another person on the other side. But I do want to just
Upper Echelon Sports Bar said they treated John like he was black. Sorry, homie. Man, but yeah, no, that's just crazy though. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
No, let's talk. John, like, I really hope that you've gotten the medical attention that you needed.
Man. And you're probably in pain still, bro. You know what I mean? So just rest up, man. And
if you guys didn't see, he had said in the chat that he had a couple broken ribs and what did you about the sternum?
Yeah. Like injured his sternum or something like that. Yeah.
So I mean, that's
there's a lot of pain, just broken ribs and stuff like that. I mean, that's I know how it is to sprain a rib when she kicked me.
It was your fault.
He
asked me to. Don't think I just randomly kicked him when he was like cooking.
No, I was. When we dated, I was like, man, you can't kick for nothing. Me being a macho man.
Macho man.
So I had her kick me. It wasn't all thing. I had that thing on me, the padding on me. Yeah. So she kicked me, and I was like, you can't kick for nothing. Then she got mad, and she didn't even go all out, but she went a little bit hard and got the rib part where it hurts for about 3 months for me, and I had to cancel one of my fight, saying that I hurt it in my sparring, but it was really her that did it. So
it was technically sparring, I think.
Yeah, well, anyways, but I know how you feel, man. Slightly. I know you're even worse than that, but I hope you feel better, bro. And I appreciate you just tuning in with us.
Yeah.
Man, that's business
that's
for you.
Work. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go. But yeah. So.
Hey.
Yeah. Go over there.
Go. Hi.
Anyways, man. So, today we're pretty much recapping the fight this weekend, and hey, Jackie, one of my favorite people over here, man. Much love to you and thank you, but let me do this because she handles all of this stuff. I'm trying to figure this out myself. Oh, here we go. That's it. Hey, I gotta do it by myself. Jackie Hernandez, thank you again. Much love to you and tuning in, man. So which one of y'all? Oh wait, I gotta take this thing out. Okay, see newbie over here. There we go. Now, so okay, they're talking about Magsayo and he gassing out and all that stuff. But let's go and the one I saw, I didn't see the first fight, but I saw the one with I think it was Garcia and Vidal versus Garcia, both undefeated fighters. I don't know if you guys seen that fight, because a lot of people would just kind of go in and go for the main event. So but Vidal and Garcia, 19-year-old, and he came out there fighting in the first round. If you guys remember, he was getting caught by the other guy. And the other guy was Vidal, who was trained by Bob Santos. Yeah, a good friend of mine. So shout out to Man the Rigma. Shout out to everybody out here. Um, Slim Creeper, Carlos JS, Roll High, everybody, man. So oh wait, that was Herd. Herd was the second one after that, right? I don't know, but anyways, let's talk about the Vidal versus Garcia, two undefeated fighter. Vidal came in there, you know, hungry, looking like he was gonna upset the 19-year-old, and he was throwing a jab early on, and he was blooding him up. You know, if you guys remember, he was blooding him up. But the 19-year-old came in, Garcia came in and got his hands up. Southpaw, he came out there and just started pressing. And by a few rounds after that, the guy, Vidal, was actually starting to wear down, you know, and that's when he was just getting caught with a lot of punches, you know. So Upper and Sean was saying Vidal was catching Garcia then, and then the fourth round, Garcia cranked it. Vidal was the favorite. Was he the favorite? Vidal was the one. Okay. But anyways, the 19-year-old came in. He wanted to get that you know. Rojas said Garcia got some good body work in there, and I think that's what slowed down Vidal in the first place. Those body shots that just kind of slowed him down, you know. You know what? Let's drop the link over here, and you guys, let's talk about this stuff. And I know she's not here right now, and she's probably gonna say something, but I want to have a conversation with everybody about this stuff. You know what? Everybody's there we go. See, I'm new with this stuff, man. She usually handles all of this stuff for me, you know. So yeah, I think that Vidal came in there, threw that jab, had great distance, and he was blooding up the young man, you know. The nose was blooded up, but the guy came in, had his hands up, tried to press the fight, and hurt him a couple times, you know. And then like somebody else said over here, or Roy was saying, the body shot was working too. So, you know, yeah, man. There we go. I think that's what it was. There it is. What's up, Upper Echelon?
Nonito, what's good, my friend? What's good?
Great, my brother. Great, man. I'm blessed, brother. I'm blessed, man. So yeah, so talk to me about what you think of the fight with Vidal and the 19-year-old Garcia.
Well, you know, Vidal was Garcia was a 250 underdog.
Really?
Yeah, he was plus 250.
Okay, that's good to know. See, it's good to have you guys out here because you guys know the details. Well, for me, I'm just watching the fight and just kind of looking at it. I'm like, wow, you know.
And so, you know, I took a gamble on Garcia, but you know, that was Garcia's first step up fight. You know, Vidal had been in some bigger fights. You know, he was 16-0. But in the first couple rounds, I thought Vidal was a little bit too much for Garcia because he had the quicker of the two hands in punching. And it was like he was cracking Garcia. Like he was knocking blood out that man. Like he was cracking him. And Garcia was exchanging as well. But then he started focusing on the body. But it seemed like around the third or fourth round, those body shots started to catch up to Vidal.
Right.
And he started losing steam on his punches.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, go ahead, my brother.
I didn't think he was hurt until I seen him go down. I'm like, whoa. Because
I think when he got hurt was that right hook coming from Garcia where he went, and then that's when Garcia came in with combinations.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I didn't even see it but he was hurt prior to that. If you watch the replay, he had got hit in the body. He got hit in the body. That's when he got that hook. And I was like, well, damn. Because, you know, Vidal said he was going to be the first Uruguay champion. You know, he had his whole country riding behind him, the country of Uruguay.
Yeah.
And that's why his coach and all them, they had a big hype on fight hype for him and everything. He was on fight hype with his coach. I forgot his coach name, but, you know, his coach be out there a lot. Because
I've known him for
Garcia's coach. Yeah, Garcia's coach. Hector Garcia's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, you know, when you look at the first fight or the first round, the jab was there, the distance was there, and he was cracking him with it. And I think the pressure just kind of he slowed down a little bit, and you know maybe he took him lightly, being 19 years old. You know, but
Yeah,
the jab, and the distance was working perfectly. And if he had sustained that, it would have been his fight.
yeah, but Garcia found another gear. Like
Yeah,
Garcia
he
found
did.
another gear. But that's why we always tell people invest in the body. That
Right.
body work is gonna pay off in dividends.
Yeah.
And both of them was throwing hell of a punches. They were throwing punches. It wasn't no damn. Matter of fact, shout out to PVC for another wonderful card. They keep giving us great cards each week, and
Yeah.
these cards are action packed. And shout out to the youth Trayvon Marshall.
I just
Trayvon
got to
Marshall
do it.
with the big step up knockout over Deloach on the undercard.
Right.
Trayvon Marshall, that was a beautiful thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying is like when Garcia came into the next gear, he had his hands up, you know, and he was pressuring them so that he can take away the jab,
With
right?
the
And
high
when he
guard,
took away the jab, the body was landing, and when the body was landing, the head fell, and
yeah,
that's how he
he
got
went to
caught.
that high guard on him,
Yeah,
and he started hitting him in that body. And I think them body shots started to work on Vidal because Vidal, like, it's like he had the momentum going into the fourth round. He had the momentum because I think he was catching Garcia with the harder shots. When I was
yeah,
watching, I'm like, damn, Garcia. I'm like, Garcia ain't gonna make it because
yeah.
he was
He
getting
was
hit with
bleeding
the
up
harder
like
shots.
crazy.
Yeah, because Vidal's power was clearly evident. He was catching Garcia. He had that boy bloody and everything, but then he may got power, but his chin wasn't as steady. Because Garcia, when
No, well,
he
some
caught
people
him.
got harder head than you know, because he came in there with hard head and he was getting caught straight out, you know, straight right down the middle. So,
He was
you
getting caught
know,
with everything.
yeah. Let me let me give this my man over here some love, man. I mean, I feel bad for you, bro, but I'm gonna dance for this. I know. John Boy, my man. Worst part, the officer told the doctor I'm not allowed pain meds due to my past history of drug dealing. I never had a drug conviction 2A.
Yeah, if you don't have a conviction, they still got to give you the pain medicine, buddy. As if you get a damn felony conviction.
Wow, that's crazy, bro. That's
And
crazy,
they
man.
can't prescribe it. They can't prescribe it to you. They can give it to you while you're in the hospital. They just can't prescribe you no medicine, no drugs, no class 1 or 2 substances.
Man, you can't have pain meds. That's crazy, bro.
I mean, I got a trafficking charge, but when I went to the hospital a couple weeks ago, they had me on fentanyl and then they gave me oxycodone while I was
Man,
in there. When I was in there for that week.
shit, I think that's what John Boyer needs right now because he broke a couple ribs and you know and all of that stuff from the accident, man. That's
Yeah, that
you know.
fentanyl, you don't want to be on that shit right there. I
Yeah,
see
well,
why.
I hope you feel better, brother. You know, I hope you feel better, man. I hope you heal up. I mean, it's easy to say, it's easier said than done because I know when it hurts, man. There's no way around it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
Rick said that sucks, John B. Being denied medical attention, a pain medication is wrong, wrong, wrong. I 100% believe that, man. And
Well,
everybody here, shout out to Juice and everybody, you know, Rick. Yeah, man. Prayers to John Boy, man. Prayers. And yeah, that's just nasty,
yeah, I was in
man.
the hospital last month, so I hope
Yeah,
he
I
feels better.
remember when we was talking. You was in the hospital. You getting do all that stuff, you know, the blood
Yeah,
testing and all the other stuff that you was doing.
yeah, I hope he feel better though. But
Yeah,
yeah, they had me on fentanyl in there, and that shit was feeling too good. I told them to take me off of that.
man. Hold on, let me get this right now. Hey, hey. John Boy, man, the cop hated me so much. He was grabbing me by my hair each time I was unconscious. He like quit like
Quit like a bitch.
wow.
Do you know the cop name?
Wow.
I hope you
Bro,
know.
I think you need. This is like you're gonna win millions and millions of dollars, man. This is a hate
Hell
crime
yeah.
on you, bro.
Hell yeah. A hate crime against Asians.
Man, that is crazy to me. And you're hurt. You man. I mean, anybody anybody who ran into a wall going 90, there's definitely gonna be a lot of injuries. And for the cops to treat them that way, regardless, of all the injuries and all that stuff, that's just messed up, man. That's messed
They
up.
showed about the black guy that got shot by two cops, and while he was shot, they still roughhoused him on the ground. Like, man, he got two bullets and bleeding out, and they still forcing him to get on the ground, and he bled out on the way to the hospital. Like, damn, y'all.
Man, that's
Yeah.
insane to me, man. But yeah, bro, I can only pray for you, man, and I hope you get your justice, man. And these people need to pay for what they've done to you, man. That you know what I mean. So much love to you, much prayers to you from everybody out here, man. I
Start a
hope everything
petition too,
goes good.
John. Start a petition, John, and get everybody's e-signature on that thing.
I'll be right there with you, bro.
Hell yeah, get an e-signature and everything. Get a couple
Yeah.
thousand people. That'll be his ass.
So, anyways, yeah, let's go back to the little bit of boxing, man, because I mean that's just messed up what they did to you, bro. And I don't really know how to comfort people, but just the to talk about something out of to get the mind out of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I don't like that shit. That shit pisses me off though. So I don't like hearing
yeah,
about
no, it does. It does.
it.
That's why, like, with me, when I get mad about something, and I get really mad about something. So,
Yeah.
it takes me a while to get there, but when I do get there, it's hard to stop. So, hey, again, John Boy, man, I've been locked up twice. Second time was attempt murder. My blood was boiling. Man, you're a rough dude, John Boy. And with even with with the pain, no pain meds and stuff like that, man. You still able to do this stuff, man. But you're a bad dude, man. I'm glad I'm on your good side, bro.
Yep.
And again, and another one, my brother. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to do this stuff right. Hey, hey, hey. My bad. Disrupt the show. I'm trying to get some rest. If I was black, trust me, I'd be dead.
Damn
Man,
right you would. Damn right you would,
man.
baby. That's why I'm glad you're not, brother.
Nah, you're not disrupting, bro, because everybody needs to see this, man. Everybody needs to see this. When people do wrong things to others, man, everybody got to take notice, man, because it's just not you. It's not just anybody else out there. It happens to you. It's gonna happen to a lot of people, man. And so
Yeah.
people just need to be aware of this misjudging. This thing that they're doing to you and other people, man. So but
That's
maybe
the road.
hope that you rest up, and I hope that you heal, man, because I mean that's a lot of pain, bro. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no,
I
you're
hope
not
you
disrupting.
get
You're
legal
always
action
welcome here, man. You're one of our brothers, man.
and get legal action, bro. Don't let that shit slide. Cause some
Yeah,
they're gonna keep doing that shit.
yeah, man. You got people's back over here, bro. So we got your back. So if you need us to do something, man, we'll be right there. But yeah, man. So yeah, no, let's go back into it a little bit, man. But what's up?
Work.
I know. Um, he's helping me out upper echelon a little bit. So
Thank you.
but yeah, no, much love to John Boy, man. Again, how they treated him is horrendous. And like he said, if he was black, he would have been dead already. you know, but yeah, much love to you, bro. Yeah,
Okay,
so
let's talk about the fight.
so we did talk about Vidal and Garcia. Huh?
Oh, okay, you did.
Yeah,
The
we talked about
19-year-old
that.
kid.
Yeah, 19-year-old kid, and then now we want to move on to Hurd versus
Mercedes.
Indies.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think heard there was a lot of people that were big on him and hoping that he was going to show up that night. But I think honestly, once he stopped utilizing his jab, like he was just a sitting duck. And I told you, I felt like his feet were like quicksand. Like he was trying to use that shoulder roll.
But he wasn't moving his leg like you said, right?
No.
But I think the last fight, he was the same way. When he got pressured, that's all he did was just kind of fought in instead of just using range. And I mean, you can clearly see he was the bigger man in that fight.
He
You
was
know, I
about
think
about 170.
Brazilian was fighting at 154, but he moved up for this fight.
No, he was saying, what were you saying?
I said Derek Hurt was at least 172. That boy was huge. He was looking like a light heavyweight out there, man.
And didn't he have like an 8-inch reach or something too?
Yeah, but see,
Like,
that was his problem right there. You know, when people are accustomed to something, they got habits. Whenever people get into habits, they fall back on what they used to. And see, like they had a good game plan. He came out utilizing the jab and using the range because he has a great jab, but
He had a great, strong jab.
yeah, he has a shotgun jab, but he doesn't get to it. He likes to do that Mexican style. Let's see who gonna fall first. And at first, he came out utilizing the jab, and then when Resendez started pressuring, he just fell away from it and was just like, "The hell with it. Let's just go ahead and go mano a mano." And then he couldn't turn the gear. He got stuck in fourth gear. He didn't have that fifth gear while Resendez took it fifth gear. And I think that extra weight that Hurd had on him was a thing that slowed him down and made him sluggish to take that pain. But he's been taking too many pains in his fights. Like all his fights be battles. Like he likes to go in there and brute it out. And that right there, that kills your boxing career right there. That takes years.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're getting caught every single time. You know, you're getting caught, and not just like for a few rounds. The whole fight, you're getting caught with it. You know.
well, I like the biggest thing though too is like in the beginning, right? When he was jabbing, Resendez couldn't get like set. He kept getting restarted by the jabs that were being thrown, having to deal with slipping the jab and defending against the jab. And like you said, as soon as that jab went away, Resendez just started to walk him down and was like, "Up, I guess there is no, what is it called? There's no defense I have to fight through. We're just gonna."
But early on, he was throwing those rangy jab that was hurting him. You know, that was keeping him at bay. You know, and I think that he should have kept doing that and set up the straight. But you know, unfortunately, he was just kind of
fell back to his habits.
Looking back, I mean, he never really truly used to fight like that, and so just kind of like, I don't know, maybe being lazy or just like
the Erislandy Laura fight was the first time he did this, and ever since the Erislandy Laura fight, and he won that Laura fight, he been doing it ever since.
Yeah.
No, the upper echelon, didn't he say something? I gotta look it up. That he was saying that the time off, like pretty much, like destroyed him, is what he was saying. I thought.
But you know, his dad had died. That's what destroyed him because you know his dad meant everything to him. And you know his dad.
Right. That's what I heard in the you know, in the commentary.
Yeah, they said it on.
And sometimes this is the thing about life, man. You know, when it gets hard, it's either you move on and then be blessed, or take that pass and just kind of state it. And I think that's pretty much where he is right now. Is just he's digging himself because of I mean, it's tough to lose somebody you love. You know what I mean? So, you know, but you can't rewind time, and you can't, you know, you can't go and be, I mean, you know, is it worth destroying your career, destroying your life? You know, that's not something that your father wants you to do. And because you are selfish in your emotion, that, you know, you're digging yourself deeper. And I think that's something that I've always been, you know, in my life, is whenever time that I get into a situation that I could be depressed about, I've always looked into the brighter side of life.
Well, I think that you're absolutely right. Like we do have a choice on whether we're going to have it negatively impact us or positively impact us, and he has to make that decision. But it's, you know, it's going to be up to him. Like if he's going to really work on the things that and focus on his boxing career, because, you know, I mean, man, that cut though was nasty.
Yeah. And you know something?
There was a lot of blood. That's
yeah.
for sure.
And you know something? Around the 6th or 7th round, in my head, I was like, if Jared Hurd turns it up a little bit, he can stop this man, because they was trading a lot of shots back and forth, and he was catching Resendez with some good shots, especially the uppercut and that hook. Like he jacked his head up, but he just couldn't. He just couldn't switch that next gear. Like I think if he would have switched that next gear, went more to that body and turned it on, or just come back to the jab a little bit, he could have damn stopped that man, but he didn't.
Yeah,
And
no,
he
that's the
wore
thing.
down
Was
first.
he's so much bigger than the guy, and when he was throwing a jab, he was pushing the guy back, and he was snapping his head
It was
back
a
every
hard
single
jab
time.
too. That was a hard jab.
Very
That
good
was
jab.
a hard jab.
And the thing was, the guy kept running into it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, it was just unfortunate because sometimes there's a mental blockage. I think this is what we call mental blockage for him is when he gets going, he puts himself back. It's kind of like people who are good in the gym, and then when they go into a fight, they have that mental blockage where they can't perform. You know what I
It's
mean?
like the
So I
old
think
saying.
he really has to deal with himself and learn to let go and learn to better himself, because if he can't, there's only one way for him to go. Is get hurt or two ways, get hurt or retire. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's like the old saying, you had a boxing match and a fight break out. And that's what was happening. They was at the boxing match and a fight broke out. And he wanted to see who was man enough. That's that mono thing right there. Cause he was boxing good and I guess was sitting there pumped his chest a little bit and was like, come on. And so Jared was like, forget this. We're gonna see who the tougher guy is. And we seen that Resendez, he was man enough to take it all the way. Jared just couldn't turn the corner on him.
Yeah, that's what Slim Creeper just said. He said that he saw hurt Resendez a few times, but he could never turn it up and push for that knockdown.
Yeah, that's what I said. He could have stopped him a couple times. I said, man, if you turn it over and turn it up, he's gone.
Yeah. Because the guy was right there to be hit. That's the thing, was the guy was right there to be hit, but he kept waiting to get hit to counter when he could have just kept going with it, and the guy would have ran into all the punches that
Plus,
he was throwing.
First fatigue makes cowards out of men. I'm gonna tell you one thing. People might not have seen it, but around the fourth, fifth round, Jerry Hurst started getting tired. His gas tank was getting low. He started getting fatigued. He took the sixth round off. I seen that. After he had a brilliant fifth round, he took the next round off. Like he wasn't in shape. He wasn't in shape. Like he was tired. And Resendez seen that and hopped on him.
Yeah, no, that's a great observation, because the theme of this whole fight was fatigue made every man, every courageous man fear, like say the Vidal versus Garcia. He got tired because of that body shot too, and when he was winning the fight, it looked great, and then he just got tired and he lost the fight. Heard the same thing. Magsayo the same thing.
Yeah,
it was like a theme. This was a running theme.
It was like a theme for everybody.
And look, they all got tired around the fourth or fifth round. Did you notice that? Everybody, Magsayo was good the first 4 rounds, and then like the fifth round, he was tired. Jared Hurd the same way, and the dude got tired in the fifth round. Like, dang, half training camps or something.
I think, well, I mean, we could move over to the Magsayo one since we're talking about it. Like for at least for the other guys, they all made their weight, right? With Magsayo, he did not make the weight on the first try. He was 0.8 over, which is okay, 0.2 away from a pound, but let's pretty much just round it up to a pound. And when he he stepped on the scale, he's 0.8 over, he took off his jaws, like his jaws were going to be 0.8. And then for the next 2 hours, he had to go and whatever he had to do, run it off or whatever, and that took time off of him recovering and using more energy expenditure the night before the fight instead of recovering from a weight drain and relaxing, right? I think that was a huge thing of missing weight by 0.8. And it does, I know Brandon Figueroa was asked what he thought about the weight, how are you happy that Brandon Magsayo made the weight? And Brandon's like, I did my job, and that really is what it is. Like, I did my job. So let's just put it out there because I think a lot of people were confused about this. If Magsayo did not make the weight, they could still fight. It would have been up to Brandon, right? And in addition, Magsayo would not be allowed to fight for the interim title that they're talking about. So even if Magsayo didn't make the weight, the fight could have still gone. It's just if Magsayo had won, he wouldn't have been able to avail of the interim championship.
Just like Shakur and Conceição.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. But I do think that 1 pound, because you have to remember, they're not cutting the weight the day of, right? They're cutting throughout the week. They're not eating.
Well, it's your responsibility as the fighter. Is your responsibility to make the damn weight. You know, like for me, I went up to 126, 122, and no one thought that I was going to make 118. And I made 118.
You a sexy 118 though.
When you sign the contract, you agreeing to it.
Amen.
You sign that contract, that's in breach of contract if you don't make the weight. That means you're not doing your job. I mean, you gotta
do your job.
I think a lot of people forget, like, listen, like they're like, okay, I'm getting $1 million for this fight. And they're like, I'm getting $1 million for the fight. That's the wrong mentality. You're getting $1 million to train. Like, yes, that 45 minutes where you're supposed to show up, but the amount of preparation is included in what you are supposed to be giving for that night of the fight.
Right.
And so when people don't plan accordingly, because honestly, I feel like this when I've never missed weight either.
Right.
But I feel like I know when I'm in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a
good point over here with Picasso. He said all he had to do was spit out 0.5 of saliva. That's funny because that's what I do. Every time I have about 0.4, 0.5, what I do is spit. Give me gum. Big Red. Give me some Big Red, some flavorful gum.
Yeah,
and I spit the hell out of it. I'm just spitting. But he could have done that thing too. You know, he could have done that. And if he wanted to take off his underwear or whatever, he could have kept spitting and he would have lost that weight easily. And he would have an extra hour to rehydrate.
But again, this is us understanding, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember from the Bay Area, from San Mateo, driving up to Sacramento for a state championship, and my dad was fighting.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting. We went to 7-Eleven before we headed out, and he got one of those big gulp cups.
Yeah.
And he filled it up with spit. And but I told you it's disgusting.
I do the same thing, dude. I do the same thing too.
But when we got to Sacramento and stepped on the scale, he made weight. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying is like you I would think at this point, after how many years of doing it, you know when your body like it doesn't feel right because or you're too high. Like on a Wednesday, you're like, wait, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be lower than this.
Right. Well, there's a different way of cutting, right? So for instance, a lot of people don't like being in a tub. I love being in a tub. I lose about 3 or 4 pounds on like 30 minutes or less. For a lot of people, it drains the shit out of them.
Yeah, and
to be in a tub. For me, spitting drains the shit out of me. That's why I don't like spitting. That's like my last resort is spitting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it just drained the crap out of me.
I used to like to fast. I used to fast to cut mine.
Yeah. I mean, I fast. So I think for the weight, you know, I remember the guy that really did it before I started doing it was Diego Corrales. You know, Diego Corrales was the one that he would fast. You know, he didn't want to fast. You know, talk about that. I want to get something to eat, but he'd fast. For me, it became part of my spiritual, I guess, practices in terms of like meditation and stuff like that. So I do a lot of fasting and recovery for me because I've read a lot about fasting, how it triggers autophagy, and autophagy is what takes away all the damaged cells and recycles it.
Yeah, it takes away all the bad stuff, all the poison.
Yep. And recycles it and create new ones for you.
Like you can start 3 weeks ahead of your wait time and fast for 5 days, come off, eat for 2 days, fast for 5 days, come off, eat. You lose about 20 pounds easily.
That's what he literally does.
That's why for me, I don't have no problem with weight because I don't really, that's what I do is I would fast Sunday night, Monday I'll spar, Tuesday, Wednesday I'll fast, Thursday night is when I go back into eating, and I'll spar on Friday, and then I'll have the weekends eating and all that stuff. Then back again that same cycle, 4 to 5 days of fasting,
Yeah, day
and
three of fast. Day
you
three
know,
of your fast is when the weight started to jump straight off. Day three.
oh yeah,
On the third day of fast, you lose about 5 or 6 a day. And you
yeah.
work out while you're doing it, but you don't
Yeah,
want to do too heavy.
Carlo JS said cell eating cells. That's pretty much what the fasting does, right? You know, is that's what they call the autophagy. Um, is is
Atrophy.
is is the trigger where you know your cell is being taken and being recycled and creating new ones.
Yeah. A shout out to Kuyung Joseph, Kuyung Stefan, and Skywalker just walked in too. Rick Tim said, when you stay pretty fit year round, you make weight easier. I'm a huge advocate of that. I know when I
You
first
barely
met
eat though. That's the thing. This girl don't. She has no taste. Okay, I grew up.
I married you.
I grew up. Well, that's a different taste, baby. That's a different taste. No, I grew up with lack of food, so when I get food, I enjoy food. You know, I love food. You know, but I do love being healthy. So it's a give and take.
Well, the thing is one of the one things that age you is the yo-yo dieting, right?
Yeah.
Even when women do it, and I'm not even talking about professional athletes. When women do it, like it shortens their lifespan. They can't. Their body doesn't know how to handle the increase and decrease in such a short period of time of the muscles and the fibers that are holding our body together. So more so of the fact where that's just a regular woman walking around just wanting to look good, where an athlete that that gains 20 to 30 pounds and now, oh crap, now we have 8 weeks to the fight, I need to be in a fat camp to lose weight,
Right.
and B, also try to get my muscles to remember how they're supposed to be firing with the additional weight now, not get injured, not pull a muscle or anything like that from overexertion, and figure out a game plan
Yeah.
all in 8 weeks.
And that's why it's always good, the best, to be close to the weight. You know, for me, I'm about maybe 12, if that 15 pounds. You know,
Yeah.
so
And that's off camp. So once he starts camp, once he starts doing like, 2-a-days or anything like that, anything over 6 rounds, he's already walking around 10 pounds over the weight, just because from, increased energy expenditure.
I mean, it changes lifestyle too. You know, for a lot of champions, and because back in the days, and this is what I guess you see it from other champions, is they balloon the shit out of themselves.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It's just norm for a lot of fighters. You know what I mean?
It looks really bad.
It looks really bad.
Okay, so we completely went left.
Yeah, you did.
But
you did.
no, I did not.
We did.
Okay.
I did. Okay.
All right. So I feel like because he had to have that additional weight cut, that ultimately affected his stamina, endurance in the ring, and body shots, where he was more susceptible to body shots during the fight.
Yeah. I think the thing about people don't understand is when you're cutting a lot of weight, you're so freaking vulnerable to getting hit. And the worst is you can probably take headshot, but body shots, now there is not a single person in this world who's been cutting like crazy can take a body shot.
Well, I think that's why Brandon's corner,
his dad was saying, go to the body, go to the body. That's what he just kept saying, was go to the body.
Yep. I'm going to turn on my computer for my son. My son was actually taking notes, so we can actually go round by round.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened in that fight. Give me a second. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So they saying that he's moving up in weight, but I think that if with proper discipline, I think he can sustain this weight class. But if he doesn't want to, try to get it, I think that he needs to move up in weight. But what I personally think, knowing that I sparred him and worked with him in the past, I don't think he can carry his weight to that division.
I just don't like the fact that when a fighter doesn't make their weight, then they're all like, well, before we were already saying we were going to move up. No, you aren't.
Excuses.
It's an excuse. I mean, don't take my word for it. Take the word of facts and what has happened at the
His power.
WBC. Sean Gibbons, who represents Mark Magsayo, was positioning him in the 126. If since then, and we've heard it from Mark's mouth also, that he was preparing for the fight in
Since
October,
October.
and they were positioning him for in November at the WBC, how in the world are you going to say that you were planning to move him up anyway?
Right.
Like,
when you guys had planned for this fight in the first place. So there's really no excuse when it comes down to it, because you've been training for this fight since October. In November, you petitioned to get this fight to happen. And now that.
Exactly. They was talking about a Vargas rematch. They was talking about trying to get a Ray Vargas rematch. That's why Figueroa about to get the Ray Vargas fight, because they were saying the winner of this match right here gets Vargas. And Sean Gibbons was talking about how they would love to get to go against Ray Vargas for a second time. So you wanted to go against Ray Vargas for a second time, but now you talk about moving up to 130. Ray Vargas came back down from 130 after he lost to Shacky Farfster. But the one thing about Mark Magsayo, his power is not going to carry to 130.
No.
Like his power is mediocre at best right now. So,
and I really don't like him against Oshaki Foster. I think Oshaki
or Navarrete.
Navarrete, his power carried. But
yeah. And he has that long range punch from all the way from the other side.
I'm just saying Oshaki is like he really showed up against Ray.
He did show up. He did show up.
Has a very high ring IQ. Like, I actually became a fan that night. So,
well, the thing is, when he fought, when Mark Magsayo fought Russell was one-handed.
Yeah.
And he had such he had tremendous trouble against him, And then you get Oshaki, who's the bigger guy and who can box as well. I mean, you know what I mean? So, if you just kind of put that together and visually, it's going to be a very difficult fight for him.
Yeah, like he just needs to get more discipline and try to get a different route down there at 126. Just first off, he got to stop being so wild as first, because he be having a wild style. He be out there Euro stepping out there like, dude. I guess he's trying to do the pack
out of nowhere.
Well, that's what I'm looking.
Like if you look at he has those flurries too, out of nowhere, and he's getting hit. And he's like out of nowhere,
Well, that's what I'm looking at my son's notes round by round, and it's it's Magsayo misses with a hook. Like it's all it's a lot of these where he would just leap in, right? It's not really set up. He just leaps in and
Euro step.
Yeah. So that I think, once people start to with Figueroa, he was starting to see the timing of when, because he'd be there, then all of a sudden, there's that slight pause. Because remember when we were watching it, I go, he's about to go.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Is when I was sparring with him, I can tell, and this is why I can smother his punches. Is when he would attack, it was the same punch, same punches. At the same time, when he does, is he pauses before yeah.
And every good boxer like you and other champions can notice tails in the fighters. If you watch the film, you could look at tails on a fighter. Like when I seen him fight Ray Vargas, I knew when he was about to jump in on Ray Vargas. Like he doesn't move fluidly. He can't move fluidly into his offense. Like his offense, the defense isn't fluid. Like he has telltale signs before he throws a punch. Like he'd be bouncing, then he'd stop, pause, then go into it. Like you can't do that. You have to do it all in one fluid motion, or you're going to get timed every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what was honestly still, it was a little bit worrying me when Figueroa would walk him down and he would reach in, right? So I'm thinking it, sometimes I revert to thinking of Nonito, because Nonito would be able to, he times it, he leans back, or he does a half step back and throws left hook. That's not what Magsayo would do. But I was worried whenever Figueroa would reach in that way.
The thing was with Mark is it feels like he's gonna go for a rebound. He just ducks down and whap. You know what I mean? Like he's about to go for a rebound.
Basketball?
Yeah. Like every time he attacks, he pauses. And the thing about it is that, at the same time, when you look at it, when he does that, you can actually time that where he can get hurt, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's what Figueroa started to see I don't know if he was intentionally looking for it, but he was like, there was several overhand rights that Mark was throwing that Figueroa just ducked underneath because he knew it was coming, right?
Right,
Like
right.
he was starting to see that timing. But you know, we get towards round 6, round 5, and we started to see Magsayo start to
Grabbing on, like he was
more.
started grabbing on
Start
more,
playing.
and you know,
He started
and the referee
fatiguing
was
out.
giving him a lot of warnings. But he was
He
grabbing
said that
on.
he didn't get a warning before the point.
Him and Sean Gibbons lied like hell in that interview, talking about we didn't even get no warning. I'm like, the heck you
No
did?
warning. Yeah.
There was a lot of warning. It was a lot of warning, you know.
Wasn't there one where we were like, "Come on, ref!" Like he took like 5 seconds to that he remember.
Yeah, he referee was just like break him up, and he would like, "Hey, stop doing this, stop doing it." I'm like, man, just let them fight. You know?
But he took like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
to
yes,
explain it.
yeah. The first round or the beginning of the round when he stopped them both. I don't know what round it was, and it took about 8 seconds before they got him to do it. You know.
Yeah,
So,
and then the clock was running. I was like,
Yeah.
at least, I mean, put a timeout if you're going to talk
Slim
that
Creeper
long.
said they got like 30 warnings.
They did.
You know, I mean, both guys were holding, but when Magsayo was noticeably exhausted, he was grabbing onto a lot.
Well,
He was taking knees. He was taking a knee, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
that's a knockdown.
See, I honestly thought that he was gonna. I would have rather, if you were going to. He already got a point deduction for holding. Yes, he was still holding, but I would have rather thrown out the second hold point deduction and input the falling to the ground. Because I've seen in past fights that if you keep touching the ground for absolutely no effing reason, that you get a point deduction for that, and he did it twice. But
Right.
was it 3?
Yeah, he went down on his knee 3 freaking times.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there was one time where he just kind of like flopped.
Well, okay, so that was when you know Mark was pretty exhausted, because I told Nonito, I was like, he could have Figueroa could have been a matador at that point and just stepped to the side, and Mark would have fell.
Yeah, because he looked really tired, you know,
Well, he was
and
grabbing on to Figueroa's
but
waist.
the thing too, what people were saying was like, man, Figueroa was grabbing onto the back of the head and throwing here. Well, because Mark was coming down with his
He was
head,
ducking
you know what
his
I mean?
head.
Yes, and you can't fault him for that. I mean, you know, because he was throwing here and he was throwing here, and sometimes he's here and he's gonna throw this. But when your head is coming forward, the referee never even said, yeah, and the referee never really kind of warned him.
No, he warned him.
He warned him like one or
He warned
twice.
him about coming in with their head, because he kept coming in with their head like that.
Times, but not enough for, because Magsayo was doing it a lot, you know. But I think it would have been a different fight, you know, if Magsayo came in differently, rather than, again, like we were talking, every man can become fearful when exhaustion sets in.
Well, I can say one thing. I salute Mark Masayo for making it to the last bell, though, because he was that was a struggle of wheels right there, because he was out early.
Yeah.
I actually thought there was a couple body shots that he took that you could see him wince. I'm like, ooh.
In the last couple rounds, that's when he really, really felt those body shots.
Yeah. Yeah. Stormy B-Man said it was actually 5 times he took a knee. I'm gonna have to watch it again. I don't know.
Man, that's a lot of
5 is a lot. Like it was. Listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we all knew like how Figueroa was going to come. Like this is not. It wasn't a break at all in how he normally stylistically comes out. So you have to know that, you know, in the first couple rounds, I think I gave him like a couple of the 4.
I gave him the first 4 because he had Figueroa to under 50 punches around. Like he was holding Figueroa to under 50 around, and then he just went away from his game plan, just like Hurd. He went away from his game plan.
Yeah, so that I gave him those rounds, and he was moving a lot. He was, you know, picking the shots that he wanted to. He's getting Brandon to fall into what he wanted to fall into and be at the exact range that he wanted to be able to fire off the overhand right, which he did catch him with. But that being said, we have seen time and time again after about round 5 or 6 that Mark's work rate goes lower.
Yeah.
Now, is he less dangerous? No, because he still has, you know, that overhand that people get a little bit too complacent when Mark takes off the gas pedal, but he's still loading on that, like that one shot. So it's literally this has been something that has been a questionable topic when it comes to Mark Magsayo because it's happened in numerous other fights.
You know what that is? You know why he's getting tired so much?
I don't know, because he's cutting weight.
No, not has to do with the weight. Now it has to do with his workout. It's the way
Missing
he
them
breathes.
shots. Them
The way he
punches that
breathes
he
doesn't
missing.
know how to breathe. He holds his breath when he's throwing those punches, and because he's doing those punches and bunches out of nowhere, and he's moving around a lot, and his body is stiff. But one thing is, he doesn't know how to breathe properly.
And he got to breathe through his nose. He be breathing out his mouth all the time.
But he holds his breath every time he's punching. He's like, "Ugh," and he's holding his breath, instead of just breathing through it. You know what I mean? That's why we go.
Oh, that's gonna suffocate your muscles right there. That's gonna starve your muscles.
And that's how you get tired. A lot of people don't know how to breathe properly. A lot of people don't know how to, exhale, inhale, and like when we're just hanging out, we're shallow breathing, But especially for a fighter who doesn't know how to breathe, guess what? It'll take away a lot of your stamina.
Well, a lot of people, I think, they underrate a lot of the very basic things because people don't think that you should need to teach breathing. But we've seen a lot of boxers in the gym, just sparring, and they're winded. We're like, dude, breathe right.
Man, I can go in right now and go 8 rounds, 10 rounds. When I was sparring with the guys from Philly, the kids that I was, the guys that I was training, they needed some sparring. I came in and spar, and I went 8 rounds on nothing. But
no
because, of no camp, not even running, nothing. And I lasted 8 rounds. I was tired as hell, but I made it to the 8th and 10th round.
Also,
because I know how to breathe properly.
Also, loading up on big shots and missing. That take a lot of energy away too. All those big misses.
Mm-hmm.
Like a miss will take off more than a landing shot. Like when you miss that big shot, that take all your wind away. It's called shooting your load, though.
Jose Gabriel Carranzo said Magsayo and his team immediately left the ring after the fight, missing the post-fight interview. Was there disrespect on the part of Magsayo and his team? I believe it's a Fight Hub interview that basically Sean was complaining that there was a judge that was changed out on Monday, and then he was saying how Magsayo is supposed to move up anyway, and then the point deductions, et cetera, and the gap in the scorecards. Now, I agree that the scorecard gaps were really extremely wide.
Yeah, that 117 to 109 was nice.
Yeah.
Like we said, I gave Mark the first 4 or maybe 2 to 5.
I got an 8-4. I had an 8-4. I gave him the first 4 rounds, and then that's it.
Yeah. And then, so, that being said, mine wasn't that shutout, right? That I thought that was a little excessive. But at the end of the day, I guess my whole point about it is if the right person won, screw the scorecard. You know what I'm saying? There's people talking about the score. Who cares? Did the right person win?
It's like this, right? Almost doesn't count. I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I almost did it, but it still don't count. That's
no, but even freaking Sean said that he was like, I could have seen it a draw, or I could have seen it 115, 113, which still means you lost.
Right.
So, the scorecard thing, for me, I'm just okay, but was it a robbery? Did the other person?
Shout out to Carl. He said, I love seeing Gibbons squirm.
He does it all the time. Just look at any interview.
Shout out to Spider-Man and D, by the way. So big shout out to you guys.
You already know peanuts that don't even matter. Your dude still lost the fight. He still got an L. It don't matter what them scorecards said. Yeah, one of them was kind of outrageous, but your dude still lost.
Yeah. The right person won at the end of the night.
And even if they did have one judge went the other way, 2 judges still gave it.
It still would have been. Right. Yeah, that was weird how he brought that up. He's like, I'm gonna call Andy.
I mean, they're just trying to grab on what can justify their words that they're gonna come out with from their mouth.
That way they can still say Magsayo's still a good contender. It was controversy in his last fight, so that's gonna be a point that they argue when they try to get him into championship contention again.
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's like I don't know. Like it was
This
just
is what it is,
silly.
man. Just be accountable for the whole thing. If you got tired, like, hey, man, I got tired in the fight, but that
That's
was
not what
my.
he said in
I
the
know, but
after.
I know, but I'm saying, if it was the right way, he should have kept the. You know what? Hey, I got tired in the fight, and I was grabbing on and all of that stuff, but because I didn't do my due diligence in cutting the weight on my training camp,
But
that should have been it.
He said he literally said in that same interview that he could go another 12 rounds right now.
I said,
He did.
He lying like shit. You can't go another 3 minutes.
Oh my god!
Because you barely got out that ring without going down. Like you barely got out that damn ring. So.
But what did you think of the way that, and because I've been talking to him about this, like I replayed that interview and I'm like, what is wrong with Mark's like mouth? Like all of a sudden it seemed like he couldn't talk correctly, and I was trying to figure it out.
Like his
I
jaw.
thought had broke his jaw at first. I said, "Damn, did he get his fractured in his jaw or something?"
Yeah, because he sounded different after the
different.
fight. Before the fight, when he got interviewed by Jim Gray, and then that fight, after the fight, he sounded different. Maybe his jaw was sore, but he said he was fine.
Nah, because it was swole. It was swole.
It looked swollen, didn't it?
It was swole. I said, "Damn, he might have fractured his jaw or something." Because that boy right there.
Because I like Nonito was saying, like I played the one where he was talking about where Jim Gray interviewed him. It was his speech was clean, and then the one with Fight Hub, it was like this. Like,
yeah, it was like that. It's like it sounded so weird. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I had Nonito. I was like,
yeah, I think it was like. I think he talks like that, but then he didn't sound like that early on. So, Carlos J. I feel bad for Filipino fighters under Gibbons. Gibbons' team is so clueless.
Well,
one thing too is that they have somebody in there that don't have any experience. I think he's a cutman, right? Or he's a second or some shit like that.
Who, Brendan?
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about boxing.
Oh, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like they're just kind of filling up their pockets with their people.
Well, I mean, let's be like, and people were
personal
talking
opinion,
about this.
Of course.
Magsayo had left Freddie Roach. Do
Right.
you think that was
detrimental?
Well, I think Simodio was with Freddie, but maybe Freddie couldn't do it. Maybe that's the thing is maybe he was training with Freddie, but Simodio was the only one that could go out there for him.
No,
I'm not
he
sure.
was at Brick House.
Oh yeah, he was a Brick House.
So
That's
he's
right.
Completely out of wild
That
card.
is that is
my
that
question
is right.
is,
Yeah,
if Freddie was in the corner and training Magsayo, would the outcome have been different?
Well, Freddie was training Rodriguez, so he wouldn't have had time for Magsayo. Because he just had Rodriguez fight last week. Remember? True. Yeah, so he wouldn't even have had time for Magsayo.
I just feel like, so like Freddie does have even if he couldn't go and he had a couple sessions with Mark, he possibly could have given a game plan, like considering Simodio has always trained with Freddie, right? So he could have told Simodio what to do, but in the corner, I'm not trying to say anything, but from what was given or what we heard in the corner was, Mark, you're strong.
Right. Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
He was getting pep talks. He wasn't getting told what he was doing.
That's what I'm saying. If he was given a game plan, would that have helped out a bit more?
Well,
I think it would.
One thing I gotta say, and this is what Upper Echelon was saying earlier, is that they got habits, right? So when they do with things, he's regardless if you have the best coach in the whole entire universe, but if you can't change your mind about something in your habits, you're gonna do the same thing over and over. And that's why we've seen him in all the fights getting tired and doing the same thing. Is because that is his habit.
This is true. So where does he go from here? Does he? Okay. If you were Sean Gibbons, who do you believe would be a good fight for him at 130 that isn't going to that's going to showcase who he is, and you can't say anyone in the top 30. Like we have to have like a decent opponent.
Well,
Okay.
if I'm Sean Gibbons, I'll say more money. Let's fight Oscar Valdez.
Nah, I'll put him up against Michelle Burchett first. I'll let him go against Burchett.
That's a good one. That is a good one
Ooh.
because Brochette has a big name, and and he has a chance, a puncher's chance in that fight.
And he has no defense. Burchett doesn't have no defense. So
Yeah,
Magsayo can throw that overhand right, and if his power carry, because Burchett been looking a little punch drunk since that Oscar Valdez
I
fight.
guess. Yeah.
So that's a good name that you can put on your resume. I mean, it should be a beatable fight. It should be.
That's a good fight. I think that's a great fight. I think that's a war fight.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
That's a good one. That's a good one, but that's a good one.
Who do you think he should stay away from?
Everybody from
If I
yes,
at
Navarrete.
130, stay away from Oshaki.
Yeah.
Stay away from Navarrete. Stay away from what's that dude name? He got to stay away from Oshaki and Navarrete.
Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, stay away from Valdez. He ain't ready for Valdez yet, but yeah, those are the three I would stay away from.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is fair game, really.
Yeah. No, the thing is the 130 is not that deep right now. Like
No, it's not.
You have the top guys, then you have a bunch of like.
Oh, he needs to stay away from Robinson Ramirez too. Stay away from Roby.
Oh, yeah. Robisi?
Yeah, Robisi gonna do him dirty. He needs to stay away from Robisi.
Man,
that's the one that lost. I mean, that's the one that beat Shakur. Lost his first fight and been winning ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay away from Robisi. I think Robisi's gonna clean that division out really because he's been looking great every fight. But this is the one thing I wanted to discuss with you, Rachel, for the last couple of days. I made a video on it.
Whenever someone says, I want to talk to you, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
All right. Now it's funny though, because you know how Crawford always try to con people, right? How he goes different places, try to steal the money, get the big fights and everything, right? He must didn't know who Oscar De La Hoya was because he got conned by Oscar De La Hoya. You do not lay in the bed with a snake and think you don't get bit. Now notice before Oscar and Terrence got that Alexis Rocha fight mandated 2 months ahead of time. You know, they went to WBO and got Alexis Rocha his mandatory, right?
Yeah.
Notice that Oscar was talking about a 3-fight deal with Terrence Crawford and everything. Did you notice that when they got the fight mandated, Oscar told him, but we ain't got the money for the 3-fight deal for Crawford. So now he's not offering Crawford no deal because he's saying they don't have the money that Crawford wants. But he got that fight mandated. So Crawford doesn't have nobody to back him. So Oscar De La Hoya really hoodwinked them because the WBO sanctions the purse bid for a welterweight fight is $200,000. Oscar De La Hoya basically got Terrence Crawford in a situation where this could be his lowest payday in the last 10 years because if Oscar don't have to make a deal with Terrence and they go straight to a purse bid. Terrence will get a 75-25 split. Now, the minimum is $200,000. And you know Oscar is not known for paying people. So he's going to try to get this fight as low as he can. So if he bids $200K, that means Crawford only gets $150,000. But you got to realize who else is going to bid on Terrence Crawford and Alexis Rocha? Who asked for that fight? So Oscar stands the gain of Crawford fight for almost under $1 million, really.
No, yeah, I was talking about that before because I don't remember. I think it was on YSM's channel last night. Because of the fact that you look at the timeline of everything that happened, and like you were saying, it's not until April or May that the mandatory position is supposed to be called. So it's not WBO's. It's not them pushing it forward. There was a request put in. What's interesting to me is that the picture that you were talking about of Oscar De La Hoya and Terrence Crawford was January 28th. And 2 weeks later, here comes this mandate, right? Out of nowhere. And this 3-fight deal that they're talking about. Now, perception's everything. And what I've talked about before is when there is when a promoter or manager moves you in the sanctioning bodies, declines fights that are mandated, etc. There is no checks and balances as far as if the fighter even knows what the hell's going on. Okay, the reason I'm saying that is with the picture that's out there, and let's, for example, say that Oscar De La Hoya sent an email over to WBO and said, "Hey, Rocha wants to press his mandatory. We would love to press the mandatory, and we have Bud on board too. Here's our picture. We had a meeting."
Yeah. Set him up.
And like you said, who's going to back Bud? Well, I mean, as far as the Virgil and Stanionis and the Virgil fight, they won that purse bid. It was like a 2 million.
2 point something million.
2 point something million.
That's a good fight.
Yeah.
That's a good
That's a good fight. But at this point in time, like who is going to back? Like, would PBC come in just to piss Bud off? Probably not. They're not going to. They don't care about Rocha. And the only other person that I have no idea what is going on with them anymore is BLK, because I mean, they had Adrian Broner's fight canceled after 3 failed attempts of getting him an opponent.
Okay, do you take a chance with Crawford after the way he did you last time?
I mean, they don't. Who else do they have right now? That's the only thing. Like, they came out like, like we're Blaze starting and we're doing this. We all knew that the Bud Crawford fight with Avanesian was a one-time fight. He did not say he signed multiple fights.
So he said he got 10 million and that's what he wanted, right? And then
but it was only one fight.
Yeah, but he leaves BLK. If he got what he wanted, why would he leave BLK? Is what I'm saying.
He didn't give a 5.6.
I'm just saying, that's all. I wish the man good fortune, but he has to make the right decision.
Well, I agree with Upper Echelon. You honestly, like the way that that's laid, and I will liken it to, for example, your fight with Jason Maloney, right? There was news reports out there, and this is why I was covering our tracks, because there was Jason Maloney had said we were in negotiation. And I reached out to Jason and PM'd him. I was like, that's not true, right? I was like, I haven't gotten a phone call. Who told you we're in negotiation? But that perception, if they were to go back, not Jason, but the deciding team, the Top Rank and his manager, if they had sent that clip to the WBC and said, Nonito's not being compliant, he's not even coming to table, blah, 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 that would be the perception of us not wanting to agree. And considering we were number 2, we could have been passed over, right, for the next person in line. But we were very extremely vocal and very communicative with the WBC, and we're like, listen, I don't know what anyone's telling you, but we're telling you, we have not gotten in contact. We are not in negotiation. So whatever they're saying right now is untrue and unfounded. So we were able to protect ourselves that way. But this whole thing with Crawford meeting up with Oscar, and then a fight being mandated 2 months before.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's playing the game. They're playing their hands, right? They have their own hands to play, and the one that executed is the one that wins the card games, I guess.
But I'm just saying, isn't it funny though? Karma's crazy. He would have fought Earl. He would have got the big bag that he wanted and everything. Now he's about to fight for probably the less amount that he's fought in the last 10 years. Because I don't see that fight doing more than 1.5 on a purse bid. Now, people might not mess with it at all, and it might stay under $1 Oscar might get that fight for cheap. And the zone, they can air it on their.
You just need to go the Spence route. That's it.
That's what he should have did. He should have went the Spence route. Now he's about to get pimped. This is
Yeah.
pimp right here because hell, if just say that don't nobody else bid on the fight, and Oscar gets it for 200K, that means Bud's only gonna make 150,000. That ain't enough to pay his team. Like he has training camps and all that crap that he has to pay.
Mm.
And he usually spends like 300,000-400,000 on his training camps and stuff, right? So he's gonna go in the hole for this fight.
Yep. Exactly. Teach said, what do you think about Magsayo versus Dogbo?
Dogbo.
Sorry.
I don't know.
That'd be okay.
An okay fight.
I think Dog Bay's a little too quick for him though. I think Dog Bay would.
But he stays right in front of him though, so I think it's just gonna be a fire pot. Like they kind of fight similar in that way, except because Dogboy can kind of move a little bit here and there, but he likes, he gets into he gets into a lot of firefights.
Yeah, Dogboy will, because him and Navarrete went at it.
Yeah, and and I think he has a bigger chance with him because he's been into wars. Dogboy has been into many wars.
Dogboy got a 10 though, because him and Navarrete was throwing that leather. So
yeah, and even when he fought that other kid. Huh?
What other kid?
I don't think Magsayo power is going to affect Dog Bay like that, because
I don't know, man. If you get hit a lot, your chin softens up, man. If you've been rocked numerous times, your chin softens up. So that might be something for him. You know what I mean? Well, 24-hour Lover here said Magdaleno and Magsayo.
Which Magdaleno?
The guy I fought.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's at 130.
He's at 130?
Yeah, he's at 130.
Magdaleno's 130.
Jager's like at 135, 140.
That'd be a good fight.
Pitbull.
Jeez. Yes, he's that big.
Yeah, he's that big.
I mean, I don't think Magdaleno. I haven't seen him fight lately. If he has anything left, I haven't watched him.
I haven't seen him fight either.
Who's the last person he fought?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. But I mean, I think did you watch do you guys want to talk about the UFC fights?
The UFC fights?
I really was I was excited for John Jones.
Yeah.
That was
that was a waste of money.
Because it only lasted, what was it, 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
Crap, man. I was mad I paid that crap. I was like, bro. I could have watched the highlights.
Figueroa was free on Showtime.
Yeah.
You only had to pay for one card.
Man. That just cracked me up. Because it was just like.
There was
just kind of, he get kicked in the balls. And then they stopped it for a little bit, and then they get into that thing, and then boom.
Well, if you have to understand that was a Muay Thai fighter. Of course, his ground game wasn't going to be on point. And Jones is. He wanted to put his hands on him on the ground. So, I mean, I
thought it was going to be a lot more striking than that, bro.
I did too. I thought
I thought they would, especially Muay Thai and getting, he would keep it distance, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
John Jones ain't gonna be excited unless he fights somebody like Ngannou. If he's not fighting Ngannou, I'm not even trying to see him fight, really.
Yeah.
Anybody else really gonna be able to compete with him? Like,
well, that guy he's called the
Stippy,
Miss Tionic, whatever. I don't know, the white dude,
I thought it was like Stipe or something.
Stionic or I forget his name, but
he was in the crowd.
He was in the crowd, and he's the champion. And he
destroyed.
Huh?
John Jones would destroy that man, dog.
Well, he might do something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Stipe, yeah, Miocic.
Stippy.
Stipe.
Wasn't there a cartoon character called Stimpy?
Ren and Stimpy.
Stimpy.
That was a gross ass cartoon, man. I was just looking at, hey, Ren, hey, Stimpy. I'm like, dude, and they be doing some crazy ass shit. And you look at them like, what the hell was this on TV? You know?
They showed us all types of nasty cartoons growing up. If you think about
Nasty cartoons, man. Back in the days, nasty. And you're looking at them like, dude, that was
like back in the day, South Park and Beavis and Butthead. We was watching that back in the day. Like,
oh, yeah.
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew. He was a rapist.
Pepe Le Pew was a perv, man. He be a Me Too movement.
Oh, totally.
That's why he was not in Space Jam 2, by the way.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew, the girl tell him no. He like, come on, Mon Cherie, you really want it?
Trying to drug her.
Yeah.
Oh,
then they wonder why all these kids in college was doing that crap. They learned from Pepe Le Pew.
Exactly.
Man.
That's when that no means yes movement came out with Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, man, I think the Francis Gagnon fight would be a good fight for Don Jones. You know.
Yeah.
Supposed to be talks with Wilder though for Francis and Wilder fight.
They're looking at it, man. You know, they're looking at it, and that's probably if that happens, that's probably gonna be most likely gonna be in like Saudi Arabia or something where they can really
That's gonna be a big money fight right there. That's gonna be a huge money fight.
So is Wilder not looking for a real boxing match right
Yeah,
now?
he is, but Wilder versus Gano, that's a cross fight. He's got the UFC fans and you got the boxing fans. I think that Wilder versus Adano do over 1 million pay-per-view. Look at Floyd and Conor McGregor. You got the king. You know, Conor McGregor was supposed to be the electrified person in UFC, and you have Floyd Mayweather. They did over 2 million pay-per-view buys. Now, Francis Ngannou, he's a monster as well as Wilder. That fight with the right marketing, that could do 1 million to 1.5 million pay-per-views. Because the UFC fans are going to buy it. Because, you know, they stand behind Ngannou. And, you know, boxing fans, they're going to buy it too because they want to see Wilder do what he do. And other boxers that think boxing is better than UFC, we're going to pay for that stuff as well because we got Wilder in his domain going against Ngannou. We want to see which round Ngannou gets knocked out in. Because they say Ndano's a hell of a striker. They say he knocks out people with the hands. So,
but that's UFC though, man. UFC compared to the gloves, I mean, they are bigger guys, so it's kind of like having their 5 rounds, you know.
Well, you know, the UFC gloves are smaller, but they don't know how to punch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the ones that I'm waiting for, you know, of course, the announcements to be is the Charlo fight, the Spence fight, the Wilder fight.
Yeah.
There's another one that I was waiting for and I can't remember, but it wasn't released on the new Showtime card yet. But I mean, there's a certain number of weekends that are unspoken for on.
Aaron Hurd messed up the Charlo fight because he wanted Jamal Charlo. And if he would have won versus Resendez, we could have got Hurd versus Jamal Charlo. Because that's what he said he wanted. He said he wanted Jamel or Jamal. Well, he said he wanted Jamel, but he'd take Jamal since he up here with Jamal.
Yeah.
You can't even get past Resendez.
I don't think that would have been a good fight for. I mean, if you put the Jared Hurd that showed up on Saturday versus Charlo, he might walk away with less of his lip gone, or more.
Yeah, but it's some people that you get up for, like you know, Charlo make Hurd get up. I think go back to his old But I always thought Jamel Charlo would have destroyed Hurd back then anyway, though. I felt like Erislandy Laura really won that fight. He outboxed Jared Hurd, but they gave it to Hurd, really.
Yeah. But I mean, I want to see like who they're thinking of having Charlo fight.
Yeah.
I would like to see him versus Adames, though.
Ooh. No, wait, but Adamas already has a card. He's on that Showtime new release card.
Oh, yeah. Why don't
Yeah.
Charlo go ahead and go after Janabek? Because Janabek been calling Charlo out.
That's possible.
Yeah.
He
Okay, we gotta
destroyed Janabek.
upper echelon. We don't see you, but you should dance, okay?
Okay, make it rain. Make it rain.
Hey, 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 hey. Salute to Nomito and Rachel. Love the content. Keys to the game boxing channel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you,
Salute,
man.
Keys. That's my boy right there. Keys.
Yes. Keys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
So yeah. So Adamas had. I think he's on the May card.
With Adamas?
I thought. Oh, here I have it. It's on my phone. But I did see his name, so he's already scheduled. So he can't.
He fighting J Rock.
Hold on. I'm bringing it up. Do.
Yeah, I think because I know he's fighting too.
Where did he go? Oh, there we go. Julian Williams.
Yeah, J Rock.
Fighting J Rock. That'd be a great.
That's a good fight.
June 24. Okay, so what's
Hey, you know one thing I've noticed about the PBC, and people can hate and say all they want to, but there's no blowouts in the PBC. Like PBC got great matchmakers. Anytime they got a fight card, it be tough fights. Like you really can't pick the winner because these people be damn near evenly matched, and they be going at it. They do not save you in the PBC. They put you out there, whether you can sink or you can swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what like for example, the Hector Garcia versus Tank Davis card. Like everyone thought that they knew exactly who was going to blow out their competitions, right? They're like, why are we going to watch this? They're all walkovers, and they didn't end up being walkovers.
Yeah, like the
Rashidi's,
even Boots, you know,
Yeah.
and Andrade, they had great fights. You know, it was supposed to be a blow up for all those guys, a walkover, but they had problems with those guys that they were fighting with.
Yeah,
I would have changed Rashidi and Boots' I would have liked to seen Boots versus that Villa guy, and
I think they made it happen now, right? They're talking about making that fight happen.
Make that fight, yeah. But I would like to see Rashidi versus that Karen Chubisky guy because
I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because Karen don't fight like that normally. Like I've watched fights when he sit there and trade. You know, Rashidi's a boxer as well, so you know Rashidi would be able to keep up with him in the ring and everything. Like it'd be a pugilistic fight right there. It'd be two prize fighters going at it.
Yeah. Here's another super chat.
Make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain.
Go ahead.
Papa Chubby. What are your thoughts on some of these interim champs? Is it time to strip inactive champs like Maul Charlo?
You know, the thing with the interim champion, that's what I was talking to him about. I was like, wait. Ray Vargas didn't end up vacating, right?
Yeah, and they fought for the interim fight.
So why? But I asked you, I was like, but getting the interim position doesn't necessarily put you in a mandatory line.
Yeah, they don't make you mandatory. But if he had moved up in weight,
they would have just been out.
They would make him a champion right off. He doesn't have to fight anymore. But if it becomes mandatory, he still has to fight for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what happens with interim champions is they are supposed to be world champions. They're world champions, but when they move up, they become the legitimate champion.
What about this? I heard about Leo Santa Cruz supposed to be fighting Ray Vargas as well.
Leo Santa Cruz? I mean,
really?
They were talking about it.
Right now.
They was talking about Leo Santa Cruz versus Vargas after the Oshaki loss. They was thinking Leo said that he wouldn't mind coming up to fight Vargas.
Did you see Leo last weekend in the crowd?
Leo's living a good life. He did
boy. He look like he about 135.
No, he's
not. That boy's face was round as hell, man. But yeah, no, he's
about 135. You know, Leo ain't short. Leo kind of tall, so you know his weight proportionate. What about 5'8"?
5'7.5".
Yeah, he's not that much different than you because we've seen you. I've seen you two together.
Yeah. Well, he might be 5'8". He might be a little bit taller than me.
Not much.
I know he
No,
been
not
eating a lot. He been eating real good lately. A lot of them damn.
Hey, he deserve it though,
But the
man.
question is he coming back to fight? Because that's been like
At 130, going down to 130. I mean, he fought at 126.
He
I
fought
know,
at 130 versus Tank.
He did, but he went down to
What was that
126
one?
because his
Yeah,
dad was
130.
telling him that he needs to fight at 126 or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
is he like retired or just inactive right now?
He's just
I think
inactive.
he's inactive.
Okay.
He just fought
Yeah.
last year against Tank.
Yeah,
That wasn't last year.
that was in last year.
That
That's
was
2
like
years
2
ago.
years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years
already.
ago.
I thought
Because I remember being in Florida that
Barrios.
time, and I watched it
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Disneyland.
Yeah, we
Oh,
were at
Disney
Disney
World.
World, and
Yeah.
then we were like, hurry, hurry, come back for the fight. And it ended
Right.
up being at like 12 midnight. We're like,
Yeah.
why'd we hurry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's how
he fought Barrios. He fought. Hold on. Last year went by too fast. Yeah, Terrence Crawford held up a lot of the fights last year. That's why. Never mind.
Yeah.
Thomas Hill said he is inactive.
Inactive.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was at the Ray Vargas fight, and he was talking about that. You know, he might want to challenge Ray Vargas for that belt. So
Which Ray
Leo,
Vargas fight?
huh?
Which Ray Vargas fight? The one when he fought Magsayo?
No, Shaq.
Oh, he was there?
I have no idea. We were there.
He was
I
in the
didn't see
crowd.
him. We were just yelling at Regis to sit
Yeah,
down.
I was messing with Regis because he wouldn't sit down. He would just keep yelling. I'm like, Regis, man, sit down, man. We can't see. But I was on the other side. I'm like, Regis, sit down, bro, sit down. I was just messing with him. He couldn't see me until I came up to him. And he's like, man, I thought it was some Mexican guys telling me to sit down.
Damn.
Yeah.
You looked at him hella dirty. So they
Yeah,
were,
he did look
they
at
were
me
on
dirty.
this side of the ring, and we were on this side. And you could see Regis did not sit down the entire fight, and he just kept yelling. And so he's yelling at Regis. Regis is like kind of squinting and like.
I like to
giving him a
mess with
side
people
eye.
at times though, because like my friends, I mess with them all the time.
Yeah. So then he was like, "That was you? I thought
Yeah.
it was some Mexican yelling at me."
Yeah.
It's good to have friends that you play with.
This one's always the clown.
I'm always
he
clowning,
does
man.
stuff
I'm
that
always clowning.
worries me. Okay.
Yeah.
When we first we've always known Fernando Vargas, but we never really knew him, right? And we went to Colombia,
Yeah.
and they sat us together and all this other stuff, but we don't really know him. And so Fernando says, "I don't like being touched." What does this one do? He goes all up. He's like, "What do you mean like this?" I'm like, "Oh my God, Fernando's gonna kill Nonito." I was like, "Fernando's gonna kill him." He's like, "Man, he ain't gonna kill me." I was like, "Dude, we don't know him like that." I'm like, "You need to like."
I just know
respect
people. I just know people. I was just messing with him. I was
You're
like,
scaring the crap out of me
Why?
because
No, I know he was
That's
cool.
what
I
I
know
think
he
right
was
there. I
cool.
can't stand for people to touch me either. I just hate to be touched.
I can't stand it either, but I fuck with people who can't stand it.
he's
what's
literally
what's up, man?
in
How you
boxing,
doing?
he's like this dual personality, right? Like he is the little pest brother that comes around and bothers you, and then he's also like the one they go to for advice. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's literally like he'll mess around with people all the time. Jesse and him mess around all the time.
Yeah, Jess is the little pest. He's like little brother though.
Jesse is younger than us.
Yeah.
But there was one time that we were at City and Jesse had this recording of Nonito singing on a daytime show in the Philippines. And he goes, "Hey," he puts it into the Bluetooth. He goes, "I'm going to sign this singer. What do you think of him?" It's literally him singing. And he plays it for the entire gym. So they're the little brotherhood of boxing is pretty interesting.
Yeah. But the Vargas kids, those kids are pretty good. Especially Emiliano's really talented when it comes down to it.
No,
But,
now we like know them. Like
Yeah.
now it's family. But before, when we first we know who Fernando is, hi, bye, and then never really sat with him. That's when he started putting his "Hey, so how you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, just stop touching him." I'm like, "Please stop touching him. We're in a
Yeah,
foreign country.
I
I
know.
don't want you to get killed there."
Hey, but we became really close from then. You know what I mean?
Oh, ding dong. Hey, Jed.
Electro
Good-
Jet.
Good,
were-
good morning.
Journal.
Good morning, you lovely people. How are you? How you guys doing today?
Jed has his journal.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
No journal today. I listen. I actually have to save it because I'm doing something a little later, and I got to save it for mine. I'm not. I want to use it on you, but I got to save it for mine. I got to have some content. Come on, I got to have a little bit of content.
Hey, you feeling okay? I saw your Instagram.
No. Me and Katie, we ended up having strep throat, and I had gotten some sort of viral infection in my eyes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was weird. It was real.
Jed, are you sure? Because we were talking about that sex talk and stuff like that. Maybe you guys
Oh hell
something
no!
different. That's
No,
all
you're
I'm
not.
saying. Sometimes you get something like that, man.
Which movie was it?
We were talking about eating ass and stuff like that.
What movie was it? If you fart on someone's pillow, they get pink eye.
My person was like, "What the hell are they talking about now?"
No
lost
freaky
me on
shit.
that, buddy.
No freaky shit. No freaky shit had happened to get me sick and stuff like that. But my wife, she's like a day or two behind me, so it's like I'm being able to eat food. So I'm saying I'm gonna make her some pancakes this morning, and I'm getting ready to make her pancakes. She comes out, I can't eat pancakes. It's gonna be like glass going down my throat. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, it felt that way for me. I better make her some chicken soup.
Man. Well, I hope you're feeling better though, man.
I'm feeling better. Yeah, I'm beyond the contagious part, right? And I'm starting to feel
That's
better.
crazy, man.
She's just in the middle of it right now, so
Wow.
she's going through the rough part.
How you doing? Upper echelon. How you using the hospital when I talked to you the last time?
Oh, I'm out now, bro. I stayed in there for like a week.
Okay. Man, we gotta take care of ourselves, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta take, that's our responsibility, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but I had an accident. Well, it was a situation, and I lost so much blood they had to give me 2 transfusions. So I had to get 2 bags of somebody else's blood in my body.
Did you feel different?
Transfusion? Wow.
This is crazy to me because when Rach had that the birth thing, the emergency with my second boy, she had different blood on her, because she was losing a lot of blood, and she was different. She was different. Her personality was different. She was like different. I don't know, man. I don't know if you felt any type of difference when blood coming into you.
Yeah, honestly, it felt weird, man. Like my dreams was kind of messed up for a few days. No bull crapping, but like it's just weird. Cause see, I got B negative blood. Like my blood is rare. It's B negative. It's like they say like 2% of the population has it. So they had to give me O negative to do it, cause ain't nobody really people who B negative ain't donating blood. But like for like a week, man, I had weird ass dreams and I felt funny, bro. I don't know if it was just my head, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, man, I could.
But God says the power is in the blood. So
yeah. I mean, it's DNA, right? It's DNA, a lot of information and data that goes into our body, and if our body accepts it, we, like I said, when Rach was losing all that blood and she had blood transfusion and and different kind of blood, she didn't even recognize herself. She lost about 2 liters of blood in such a short span of time, and when literally we could not get along. It was different, and then some days we'd get along, and it was just a different person that I was talking with. Like I had to know her differently. That was the crazy thing.
Yeah, they had to bring me back. I had left.
You said they gave you the O negative or O positive?
They had to give me O negative.
Yeah, that's that universal blood. That can go.
I think that's my blood, bro.
Yeah, because there's a certain blood type that's a universal blood that any donor can, anyone can receive.
See, I'm B negative, and only 2% of the population has my blood type.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy. Yeah, so we're talking about blood. Remember when just talk about the whole system when you had the blood, like how I was with you.
Well, I mean, I had PTSD for sure because, I didn't have the anesthesia didn't go through my system. And so I got, I had PTSD from getting cut open and having a C-section without anesthesia. But
yeah,
you didn't know that?
No. I can imagine that. No, I
Yeah,
couldn't
no, so
imagine
what
that.
happened was I was in the hospital because I was spotting, and I sat up, like I was working on my computer, and then I sat up and then I felt a gush, and so I called the nurse, and it just so happened my doctor was there delivering someone else's baby, so she was able to come check on me. She checked on me, and she's a white girl, and sorry, nope, you could call later. She turned whiter, and I'm like, oh, that's bad. I literally kept my laptop on, like I
No,
refused to
but
like look.
when
I know I'm getting there.
okay,
So they put me on they wheeled me into the OR, and they put an epidural in, and they said we got to wait an hour for it to kick in. I'm like, okay, cool. But as soon as I sat up, then I had an active bleed. So it was about 1.5 to 2 liters that I was losing, just freaking gushing, right? And then they cut me open, more blood. And I already had the IV connection. So they had bags of blood waiting. But when, besides the PTSD that would wake me up at night, I would go to the bathroom, splash my face to kind of like, reset myself. And every couple nights I would look in the mirror and I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, it was weird. Like, I didn't recognize myself for so long. And depending on, like, we would get in discussions because, of
we
course,
get into fights, and I just didn't
we get in fights.
understand her. Like, it
And
was
you, like,
crazy.
y'all know me. Like, I'm fiery as all hell. There would be times where I'm like, okay, I understand. And he's like, who the hell
I'm like,
are you?
wait,
And I'm
what?
like, and
You know.
and we had gone to we of course called our priest, and then we in addition went to a shaman, and he's like, listen, he's like, as much blood as she's taken in is how much of other people's like DNA, their memory, and
Yeah.
experiences are going through. So at whatever time you're discussing things with her, arguing with her, whoever's blood is going through her at the time is whose personality is going to show up and how they deal with confrontation. So he said, he's like, it's just, you have to wait till all of that transfused blood leaves her system, and that's when you'll find
It's
her
crazy,
back.
man. It's
Yeah,
so crazy.
for like a week. Yeah, that crap was crazy, man. I
Yeah.
told my wife, I said, before they put another bag in me, I'd rather die. I said, I'm not gonna keep getting other people's blood put in my body.
Mm.
Cause that shit was
What
weird.
were you having?
Huh?
What were you having?
I had lost too much blood. And we couldn't stop the bleeding and everything. And so I had died on the way to the hospital. They brought me back and everything. So they had me in there, and they said my hemoglobin was like 6.1,
Mm-hmm.
and they said that if anything under 7, it's life threatening. That they had
Yeah.
an issue. So I told them, well, I said no, because I always, in religion, the power's in the blood. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they tell you not to mess with the blood, because that's where all the power's at.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, I'm not getting nobody's blood in my system. So my wife and my mom and all them was tripping, talking about go ahead, and I said no. So I contacted the elder, and I asked them, "Will God forgive me for taking somebody else's blood? Like, or do I suffer this shit out?" And they was explaining to me that if it's life or death, then God would allow it. So
Yeah.
I allowed them to give me one bag of the blood. But the fucked up thing about it, pardon my language, the messed up thing about it, they gave me the bag of blood, but they still drawing blood like 5-6 times a day. So I was telling them, how you expect my blood to go up if y'all drawing 5 and 6 times a day? Y'all taking it back from me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so they talking about, well, we giving you so much, but my hemoglobin, after they gave me that one bag, it still was like 6.4. And so they was like, the doctor was like, we're going to have to give you another one. And so I got the other one. Finally, my thing got over 7. It was like 7.1. But they still every day.
If you want to drop out and come back in, like all of a sudden you're like really
scratchy. Yeah.
Who I am?
Yeah. Like your connection is weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe remove him and then see if he can come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
Hey, Picasso, like,
Picasso, bro.
hey, I'm just gonna read this one. My ex-wife was in a car accident, 4 months pregnant and bleeding to death. Baby died after
Man.
3 days. The hospital said they couldn't stop her from bleeding, and his ex-wife had passed away years later. You know, condolences. I'm sorry that you went through that. Like,
That's crazy, man.
oh, I'm getting.
You guys might get a chance to meet my wife because she's restricted from the rest of the house except for where I'm at. And this is the office, so she might come in here. She's bored to death.
Or whatchamacallit? What is it called? You're quarantining?
Yeah.
Jeez, okay. Is
Well,
that serious?
see, we have roommates, and one of them, my roommate's daughter is only 16, and we don't want her getting sick.
Yeah.
They're on the other side of the house, so
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
we're not going over to the other side because you know strep throat is highly contagious, especially at Katie's stage right now. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Kenneth Johnson, this is crazy. I'm working in labor and delivery. I'm getting ready.
For an emergency C-section right now. Oh my God.
Oh man. My bad, bro. Man. That
Please give her some epidural. Please give her an epidural.
Rachel, I mean, I've heard about that the going under anesthesia and then it not working and you feel everything. That happened to you?
Well, okay, so mine wasn't that the anesthesia didn't work. It's the fact that you're supposed to get the epidural and then you have to literally wait like 45 to an hour, you know, for it to go through, push through your entire system, right? For it to kick in. Like we all know, like you take a Tylenol, it's not going to work like as soon as you swallow it, right?
Right.
So they're waiting for it to kick in, and they didn't have time because as soon as it kicked in, as soon as I sat up, because they said okay, because my back was curved for the epidural, they're like, okay, now sit up straight and we're going to help you bring your legs over. And as soon as I straightened my back, that's when there was an active bleed. So they couldn't let me wait for 45 minutes because I probably would have been dead by then. They literally said if I was at home and I had this bleed, like I would have been dead.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you get them other people's blood, like it's so weird. Like you feel real weird with that. But I still was at 6.5 after the first blood infusion, so they had to give me another one, and it got me up to like 6.9. But they was like, your thing should be way higher than that. We gave you like a whole bag of blood, but like.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to explain to them, like, you taking it away 6 times a day. It's gonna take away what you give me. But they was like, well, we not withdrawing that much. I said, y'all coming 5, 6 times a day, and y'all getting 2 to 3 tubes. It's basically like you putting it in just to take it back out. Like, come on, man. But yeah, other people's blood does mess with you for real.
Oh.
Did you guys discuss the weekend's events already?
Yeah, if you want to recap it, that's fine. We went in.
If you already went over it, no worries.
No, go ahead. What's your point of view?
Yeah, we want to see your point of view.
I thought Maxayo would. I really did.
No, he what?
And I thought no, Maxayo did not win.
Your mic went out exactly when you said it, and that's why. Wait, what did you say?
I thought Maxayo would win. Right. And,
okay.
And don't get me wrong, because I'm an absolute Figueroa fan. I thought Figueroa beat Fulton in the fight that they had, but it is what it is. I did think it was close, so I wasn't mad at the decision. This fight, this fight was amazing because as much as Maxayo, and this is what I thought Maxayo would do: keep him mid to long. That's what I thought he was doing, and that was the game plan. Apparently, that was it. Figueroa was having none of it, just absolutely none of it. I couldn't believe some of the punches that he endured to get to the inside to get to Magsayo.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing the punishment that man took to get his shots off.
Yeah.
I thought it would end up costing him. I really did. I thought it would end up costing him in the later rounds, and it didn't. He got even more driven and started dominating. And kudos to him. But it's not for lack of trying. Maxeo did try to keep him long range, but he just wasn't. He couldn't, and that's the proof that perseverance could win out. You know, and
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is it was like I from where I scored it, it was like this first. It was Magsayo and Figueroa, right? Because Figueroa, I don't know if he was trying to prove something because he kept saying like everyone thinks I'm a one-dimensional fighter, but I can box, and I was like, like I think I don't know if he wanted to prove to people that he could move around the ring, right? And it showed detrimental to the first parts of the fight when Magsayo was firing at will, being at that mid to long range, and he was there. He was trying to tee off a jab and things like that, and Magsayo was there, and then he wasn't, and Magsayo was timing and countering it, right? So, but then we start going into 5 and 6, and all of a sudden this Magsayo's gear drops.
Yeah.
And now they're even, right? His gear drops, Figueroa starts to get in, and he's timing Magsayo's overhand right. And then 6, 7, 8, now you start to see Magsayo's work rate lower in addition to his wind and his gas. So now that his gas tank's like this, Figueroa, like most likely, was like, well, now's the time to jump.
Yeah.
Because he's all the way down here. He's not going to run anymore like he did. Not run, but move around the ring as much as he did in the first part of the fight.
Well, do you think that he was influenced by the taller guy, Ray Vargas, in fighting Magsayo? He maybe used that range, you know what I mean, to go into fighting Magsayo, because we know that Figueroa was just gonna go right in. Usually, that was his style. When he fought Neri, he just went right down the middle. He just went. He didn't stop. He didn't try to jab. He just went and did it.
So you're saying because you think that he was picking how Ray Vargas had beaten Magsayo, but Ray is so much taller than Figueroa.
They're both the same.
No,
I mean,
they're
Ray is taller, but Figueroa is tall too.
Figueroa tall too, though.
But no,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Figueroa is tall. Don't get that twisted. Figueroa is tall, but he's one of those tall, lanky guys that like to get in and get into phone booth. He's more comfortable fighting in phone booth than he is.
Tall guy, what's his name? Fedora.
Yeah. Fedora, right? Exactly. That's a good example. Fedora, like, in the phone booth. That's a tall, lanky bastard too, you know. So,
Ray Vargas is pretty tall and lanky as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I think more of the fighting styles is what was, you know, like I said, like I think Figueroa was trying to show that he can box. And
obviously he can't box. You know, I mean, no disrespect to him, but he just looked awkward when he was trying to box or try to keep it distance, you know. It just, for him, it's a lot easier to just go in there because he has gas tanks for after gas
Just
tanks.
like his brother Omar.
Yeah, he's got a good guy. But
His brother Omar.
is weird.
Omar had that.
Omar looks like I'm sorry.
A drunken master. He's a drunken master.
Omar, but I'm like, what in the world? Like,
he's trying to fight. What's that dude's name?
I'm talking about the old Omar before Ugas stopped him. I mean, before Ugas beat him, Omar Figueroa and Brandon Figueroa fight the same. They put that battery in their back and they just start punching. They feel like their best defense is a fast offense. As long as I'm punching, you can't punch me as much. Yeah, and that's the way Omar was till he fought Ugas.
I just got one thing to say because I gotta leave. But
we only have 8 more minutes anyway, Jed.
Yeah, I gotta start in 8 minutes. So it's like,
okay.
But my thing, the last thing I want to say is that I know a lot of people don't think that Figueroa is a boxer, but I'm gonna tell you this: he's been working on his technique and his boxing ability because I remember when he was just a brawler, just a puncher coming in, he gave no fucks about what damage you took coming in. He is controlling his abilities to be able to box it in, and he's getting better at it. Yeah, he's still the brawler puncher, but now I
Right.
consider him more of a puncher boxer. You know what I mean? Not so much the boxer, but he's definitely got boxing in there. He's more the puncher though, but he's getting there, and that the fact that he's showing improvement, yeah, kudos to him. Kudos that he's trying to change it up. And
Yeah.
on that, I want to say goodbye, and I love you both. Thank you very much for having me up here. God bless y'all. Nice to meet you, sir. And
You
salute
too,
to the
brother.
chat. I'll see you guys later. I gotta go get ready.
All
Okay.
right,
Bye,
Dad. Have
Dad.
a good one. You guys be safe
You
and
too.
heal up, man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what?
No, I'm just saying, him trying to box is difficult when his weight is so used to being in the inside.
Well, that and you have to know when to box, right? At what distance, what
Right.
speed, and what kind of jab, right? Because of the fact that, like I said, like Mark Magsayo's range is long to mid.
Yeah.
And if you're mid, he's gonna fire off. If you're long, he's going to
Hop in.
and then
Yeah.
throw it, right? So
Yeah.
you have to know that, like, when you're trying to work on a style, is this something I really want to do against this person, or am I playing into exactly where he wants me to be?
Right. Slim Creeper was saying Figueroa does have an intelligent, developed inside game. Magsayo doesn't have, I can't see,
Sorry.
have much of the thought process in his game at all. So there is fighting inside. He does have I guess a natural instinct to
Messiah gonna be like Pacquiao. He gonna get caught by Marquez coming in with that jumping hook, and he gonna get laid out like Pacquiao. That's I
say
thought.
hop in.
Yeah, if Figueroa had enough power, he could have caught. He could have timed him and stopped him. Mike Zaya gonna fight somebody that got enough power, and when he jumps in with that damn right, he gonna get stopped.
Well, that's why we say we shouldn't fight Valdez.
Nah, I know that's why I said I wouldn't have him fight Valdez. I have him fight. Who did I say?
I thought you said
Burchett. Burchett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I think that's a really good fight. Fire fight. I want to see that fight.
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was overall it was a good fight. There was new guys coming in that we didn't see that was entertaining, and the fight in itself was entertaining with the main event. And there was we want fights like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this week we're probably going to talk about the Inoue and the Fulton press conference. Of course, later this week we have Tim Zhu and Harrison, and their undercard that we're going to have to look at as well. We'll do all those fight breakdowns later on in the week.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to announce something soon. But
yes, we do have a lot to announce, and hopefully that we can. When we do, it's going to be very, very
we're
exciting.
one of those people that until the contracts are signed and everything's done, we don't go into Twitter and be like, look, this is where the
Hey,
contract.
y'all better give us a good undercard.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
but yeah, man.
But do you want to drop your channel? Because we're going to close out here.
Upper Echelon, man, thank you
on.
again for being here and gracing us with your presence and your knowledge, and everybody out there. But
It's no problem. It's like we family, man. Let me go get my
brother.
channel for you. Hold on.
And happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah. So when Upper Echelon get to speak, about his stuff, and please do like, subscribe to everybody that deserves it out there, Upper Echelon and everybody else, man. I appreciate everybody being here. And hopefully that, it was a good conversation for everybody. We always like to talk about boxing afterwards of how the fight went and all that stuff, and and the upcoming fights as well.
Yeah.
So
Upper Echelon, you ready? Is he still there? I think he's still there. Yeah, so you guys, like, if there are stuff that you guys want us to talk about, just make sure that you put it in the comment section, and when we
Yeah.
see it, we'll put it on as something that we can talk about when we're live.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we have different perspective of a lot of things in the fights and all of that stuff. So, and again, man, thank you guys for being out here. And there's definitely be more news coming in. I can't wait to announce it to you guys about what's to come for me, man. So, um, yeah. Um,
Yeah, I know I gotta get that. That's why.
it's Brian Milan. What's up, bro? How you
What's
doing,
up?
man?
I don't know if you've seen this dance yet.
Brian Milan thought Magsayo was predictable. I thought that you can see everything that he was doing. He was telegraphing his movement before he attacked, and that's what we were talking about. He was telegraphing his movement, and that's the thing that.
Oh, upper echelon, you're choppy again.
Yeah, but that's what me and Upper Echelon was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay. Upper echelon, I gotta drop you. Your thing's going funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Up? I didn't know how.
I'm pinning your link to the top of the chat. You guys make sure that you like and subscribe to Upper Echelon's channel. Hit that notification button for him as well. Upper Echelon, do you have a closing? Oh, he's left.
Oh, anyways, with Brian Milan, yeah, I thought that you're right about that. There was a lot of things that could have been seen through. And that's the thing about with Magsayo was he was doing a lot of that predictability. He was you can predict what he was doing. You can see not so much as telegraph, but he was telegraphing his movement when he was about to attack.
I just feel like if it's because of the gas tank, and when you're tired, you just falter back all the way to what you're used to, what your habit is, and what you're comfortable with. And so it was predictable because he's like, man, this is all the energy I have. I'm gonna throw it into this one shot, and then breathe again.
Yeah.
And then do the same thing, because that's what eventually he was relying on, was that one shot to knock out Figueroa.
Well, one thing for sure that we've learned in that card was every courageous man, when met with fatigue and exhaustion, became someone who was fearful.
Oh, then
to
it
engage.
became survival instead.
It was a survival mechanism. And so, I guess for all the fighters that are out there, the thing that you can really truly do for yourself and everybody out there is prepare. When you're ready to go for war, you got to prepare 100%. When you're ready to take life, you got to prepare 100%.
No, I think everybody who, had faced defeat this weekend, including Mark Magsayo, I think it's just going back to the drawing board, and you come back and you're going to have to talk to your team on who, what, when, where, how, and in what weight. Hopefully you don't have a continued problem with your weight, because I think that is detrimental, and yeah, I'm sure you guys will fix it. But until next time, guys, we're out. Happy Monday, and
Happy
thank
Monday.
you guys for
thank you
tuning
guys again.
in and
Appreciate
having conversations
you
with us. Until next time, please be safe.
Be safe.
I'm Jarrell. And I am Logan. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. KO! Jinx, got ya.
Filipino.